paradise comes to Mylapore. This is a story written by me and published in the form of a book and also as an audio book. The book contains 19 chapters and I am presenting them here in a series. This is the fifth one in the series.
Chapter 4,
The Kapaliswarar Temple.
After making some small purchases, Viswam and Swayambhu came to the Kapaliswarar temple, which was standing majestically in the midst of Mylapore. Said to be built around the 7th century, this temple is a fine example of the Dravidian architecture. It is believed that the original temple was built by the kings of the Pallava dynasty in the 7th century. The famous 63 Shaivite saints, known as the Nayanmars, have composed hymns in praise of Lord Shiva of this temple. From what they composed, it is seen that the temple was very near the sea. It appears that the original temple was destroyed by the Portuguese who came to India, and that the current structure of the temple was built by the kings of the Vijayanagara Empire in the 16th century by using some of the remains of the old structure. Most of the temples in Tamil Nadu have the spire-like tower called Gopuram. The Gopurams stand testimony to the artisans of that time and the architecture. This temple has 2 entrances, wherein each has a picturesque Gopuram to demark the same. The main Gopuram, which stands tall and overpowers the street, is on the eastern side and is about 40 meters high. The Gopuram on the western side is smaller and faces a big temple tank. The temple and the tank are surrounded by streets on the 4 sides. The main deity, Lord Shiva, is called Kapaliswarar. The consort of the main deity is called Karpagambal. The temple has other numerous shrines for other deities like Vinayaka and Kartikeya. Along with the various shrines, there are also many halls across the temple complex. According to a legend, Goddess Parvati, the consort of Lord Shiva, once wanted to understand the full meaning of the 5-lettered mantra, namely Namah Shivaya. She requested Lord Shiva to explain it to her. When Lord Shiva was explaining the meaning to her, her attention was diverted to a beautiful peacock which was dancing there. In order to punish her for her lack of attention, Lord Shiva made her to become a peacock. When Parvati apologized and requested for relief, he advised her to go to earth and perform a penance. Accordingly, Parvati came to this place and did penance under a punnai tree in the form of a peacock. Pleased with her penance, Lord Shiva came and relieved her from the curse and named her as Karpagambal. There is a punnai tree in the outer corridor of the temple. Below that tree, there is an idol of Parvati in a peacock form worshipping Lord Shiva. The Shiva here is known as Punnaivana Nadar. This drives home the point that goddess Parvati worshipped Lord Shiva in the form of a peacock, and hence the name of this place is Mylapore. Swayambhu and Viswam came and sat on the floor at the outer corridor after offering prayers. Swayambhu asked, God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. That is what the religion says. Then why should there be temples? How can an all-pervading entity be limited to the confines of the four walls? Viswam said, of course, the religion says that God is everywhere. But are we able to experience that? For most of us, it is not possible. It is extremely difficult for ordinary human beings like us to realize this fact. So, it is essential that we have to focus our minds on a deity. A temple exists for a very large number of common people like us who cannot realize the omnipresence of God. Temples have been constructed in such a way that the divine energy flows through the sanctum sanctorum of these temples. Therefore, until a time a person realizes the omnipresence of God, it is essential for him to come to such temples. Swayambhu said, I think these temples have been built from the materialistic point of view also. Almost every town in South India is constructed in such a way that there are streets and markets around the temples. It looks as though the kings and the emperors who ruled these places in ancient days had constructed most of the temples, keeping the employment opportunities of the people also in their minds. The temples were probably serving as a source of a livelihood of many small businessmen, and in particular the small street side vendors. Even now it is so in this Kapaliswarar temple. Viswam said, yes, of course. That is another important aspect of the temples. And then Viswam continued, the fortnight of ancestors will start in a day or two. I am going to perform the austerities next Sunday. Swayambhu said, yes, I am also making arrangements. I am thinking of doing it on next Saturday. I shall come to your house tomorrow to discuss about this. Thereafterwards, they parted to their respective homes.
The links for the book and the audiobook are given in the description part of this presentation.